Air conditioning on a car I've never worked on before. I've never seen one of these cars, had my hands on one of these cars. This is an all-electric Kia Soul. So look at that condenser. What do you notice different about that condenser? Take a look at that. Okay, so this is the model, Eco-Electric. So I've never worked on one of these. It's a 2015. So I don't know how the battery arrangement is in these, other than what I've seen like in pictures at the auto show and videos and stuff like that, but hands-on in front of me, first time. So take a few more precautions. Definitely look up what kind of oil it is. See if I could get down. The compressor is located way down there. I gotta get my camera down there, take some video, see if I could get a part number panel off of it, because I want to know exactly which POE oil, not no universal shit you buy in a bottle. I want to know exactly what weight and viscosity and manufacturer POE oil is going to go back in this, because you got like near a $2,000 compressor. If you launch it and make it all metal flake to flush out the system, you got like a $6,000 job here. If this goes to the dealer for a burnt out compressor repair, don't be surprised when they tell you you got to pay $6,000 to replace everything, because they're not going to flush. Heat pump system. So this becomes your, like for you guys, think of it, this heat exchanger becomes the evaporator, and the evaporator becomes the condenser. So when you're in a cold climate and it's 30 degrees outside and you want heat, instead of heating up electric elements, they could turn on the heat pump, because it takes a lot less power to get heat out of cold air that you think is cold. There's actually heat in it to heat up the cabin, then immediately start depleting the high voltage battery. So this is a heat pump system. And remember, on the last vehicle I overcharged it by 30 grams, and I told you I was going to keep the refrigerant in the line. So here we are after that video. That should be the last video before this. And if you look, oh, I don't have it there. Let me open it up. Let me close, because I started vacuuming down the system. Watch this. I'm going to crack this line open. You see this is closed, this is open. So let's crack this, and you'll see the pressure. And it actually was like 160, but now it's in two hoses divided up. And as you can see, I'm not hooked up. So that 30 grams that was in this hose, and I overcharged by 30 grams, is going to go right into the recovery unit. I just never bled it out into the vehicle through the low side. So that was my cure of doing the oops. I accidentally put 30 grams too much. Just keep it in the hose under a liquid. But you got to know in the first place which hose to do, and if is it in a liquid state or is it in a vapor state, how long your hoses are, and how much grams of refrigerant per foot of hose, at what size does it hold. So let's get back to this electric vehicle. The condenser is, the flow is vertical, not horizontal. Our header is up here. Check our header out. Check our pipes out. Isn't this kind of unusual? Look at the size of that pipe for an automotive vehicle going back to the condenser. Why? Because that's like your evaporator. That's your suction line. Look at the size of that line coming from a condenser. Have you ever seen a condenser with a number 12 line on it? I would probably have to say 19 millimeters. So that's about a 19 millimeter line going to a condenser. Let's call it a heat exchanger. Let's get rid of that word condenser. This is a heat pump system. Here's our receiver dryer. And as you see, the line going in and out of the receiver dryer are exactly the same size. You don't have a slightly bigger one and smaller one coming out. Look at the lines. You have one going right into the condenser, the heat exchanger right here. I can't say condenser. And you have another one going into the same tube header coming off the dryer here, all on the same tube header. And then you have another line coming out of this right here and going back too. Now look at this. Let's keep following that back. We have internal heat exchange going on here. We have two solenoids. We have two going to this solenoid, the one large one. This is so you can do your flip-flop of going from condenser to evaporator and then flipping it around, evaporator to condenser. Let's say internal heat exchanger, external heat exchanger. Then look at down here. We got two more valves down here. So it looks like we're going off to, on this Kia Soul, and look at we have an accumulator right here. We have an accumulator in line. The compressor is down there. And we're probably chilling the batteries or chilling glycol for the inverter. So we're coming out over here. Where are we going? I'm gonna have to play with this system because, oh, there we go. Oh, what is this? There's the compressor. So that's the compressor. Then this must be, what the hell is this going down to? I gotta get down. Maybe it's not going down. Let me get my hand down there and see where this is going. Okay, my hand, and I was looking at the wrong component, so I made a mistake. Going, what the hell kind of compressor? I never seen like that before. And that's because it's not a compressor, because it's over here. But I'm still trying to find out where else it goes. I don't have time for this, unfortunately, because I got to get off to my next job. But just letting you know, we have a an animal that's a freaking huge compressor. That's a monster. Let's see, it's going all the way. Right there, there's one of the lines over to there. It's like one of those big sanding guys you see on a truck. Right there, that's it. I'm trying to reach back. I cannot see my phone. I just stuck my arm way back there behind the shield out of my sight and just hoped that I could get something on the phone. So I'm gonna weigh what comes out of this, even though it tells me there's 900 grams. This is a 2015. They probably never had air conditioning on, so I want to know that 900 grams comes out of here. If 900 grams doesn't come out of here, because this was in a collision, I have to write down this has a pre-existing leak, that it's been operating on a low charge. Let's say I only take 200 or 300 grams. That means that compressor has been overheating for a long time. That means I charge it up and then the next day it burns up. Well, I need to photograph and evidence that this system comes out low, if it's low, or if it has a full charge. And be very specific on the oil that gets returned. They're not replacing the condenser. They just have to remove things because they have to move things out of the way, so the condenser will, they're not even, yeah, they're just gonna move stuff. So I'm using the same condenser and everything. All right guys, I'll see you. I'll get out of here.